Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome back, everybody, to another crackerjack episode of the Living Artist Podcast. Here comes your host, Preston M. Smith.
Hey, everybody. This episode is going to be about not being a jealous artist.
Hey, jealousy. Hey, jealousy.
Yeah, so I just dated myself there. This is something that everybody deals with in the art world, and if they don't, they're lying to you. I used to be a jealous artist. It was very debilitating because you were always measuring yourself up next to other people, other artists who might be much further along than you are. And, any number of variables that they have to their advantage over you at the time. And it just doesn't make any sense. We're going to talk about that a little bit and how to cultivate kind of an abundance mindset instead of a jealousy mindset. When I say abundance mindset, it's not anything woo-woo or anything. It's meant to just mean that there's enough out there for everybody. There really is. There's so much money in this world. There's so much space for attention. I know that everybody's telling you to get attention, get attention, get attention. But it's just a numbers game. You keep doing it. You keep cranking out good work. You keep improving. And you will eventually get attention if you're not already. That's what I mean by an abundance mindset. There's so much out there. As long as you're not really just in a rush for it, like you need it right now. You just started 6 months ago or a year ago, and you think you're already supposed to be famous. That is the only thing that I would warn against. But, art is really about the long game. It's about just doing the work, building your body of work, and becoming okay with what you're creating, first of all, loving what you create, developing a voice with your work, and then consistently putting it out there. And once you've consistently put it out there, people are going to take notice and you're going to get attention. And that is where everybody wants to be. Now, here's the thing about being jealous of other artists. How I see artists that are ahead of me or people that I'm kind of looking up to or have been jealous of in the past, I see that as an opportunity. I see that as something that or someone that is showing me what's possible. If they can do it, then I can do it too. I've seen this in my own life. I've gotten to places that I never thought I would get to before just by doing the work, and now I'm looking for the next level. But seeing other artists who have accomplished more than I have, it just shows me, rather than being jealous of them, it just shows me what is out there and what's possible if I continue doing the work and put my mind to it. That's a way of kind of flipping the script a little bit and turning something negative into positive. And also you can turn this person into, I like to see it as, I kind of turned it into a competition thing where I would see somebody who's constantly doing something that I'm maybe a little envious of and I really like their work. And instead of going, oh man, I'm never going to be good enough, I saw it as, this is somebody that I'm going to chase after. I kind of would turn it into something in my mind where I would say, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. I think that's healthy. It's having that genuine respect for the person but also, having that healthy amount of competition where you are chasing them and ultimately want to overtake them sometime. And it's all in good fun. And like I said, there's enough out there for everybody, but that is a healthy way of looking at it rather than just a defeatist perspective. Now, I'm also going to talk a little bit about FOMO.
See how woke I am?
Yeah, edit that out. No, I hate using that term. But anyway, FOMO has become something that is very prevalent in our society. And if you're not familiar with what FOMO is, it stands for fear of missing out. And that is a phenomenon that has come about really because of social media, and obviously much worsened or exacerbated by social media, which makes your jealousy even worse. So let's say you're down one day and you're not feeling very good, and you have a little bit of the imposter syndrome going, which all artists go through, where they feel like they're not good enough. And then you jump online, you jump on Instagram or Facebook, and you see that person, that one person who's always doing something, and they're always doing good work, and they're always doing a show, or they're made a sale, or they've got an opening, and so is there, you name it. And what does that make you feel? Makes you feel like crap. Makes you feel like, well, you're not good enough. See, you're not good enough, and you'll never be good enough. But I think everybody deals with that because, as many podcasts have talked about, many people have talked about, social media is the highlight reel. You don't see that artist is not posting when they're feeling at their worst, or they're crying in their bedroom, crying themselves to sleep. Okay, maybe not that, but you're not seeing them in their low moments. You're only seeing the good stuff. And I think we have a culture now that even pushes for that even more. Even if you're not feeling that, the pictures are kind of heightened to make it seem that way. That makes you feel worse. If you're already a jealous artist, or if you're already feeling bad about yourself or what you are creating or trying to create, getting on social media is only going to make you feel worse. Now, I'm not saying don't go on social media. I'm just saying that there are some tricks. And one of those tricks is don't go on social media, like Instagram, for example. If that's your social media outlet of choice or platform of choice, don't go on there until you've created something. Like, I won't go on social media until I've created a piece in my studio that I feel really jazzed about. And then I go on social media and it doesn't bother me. Or I'm posting something on social media that I feel very proud of or positive about. And then I go on, I start liking everybody's stuff, and it's like I have a shield up that kind of shields me against the jealousy at that moment. So that's a little trick, and that really works. And I'm not saying you can never go on social media any other time of the day, but maybe don't spend as much time and don't scrutinize a lot of people's work, or that one artist that kind of freaks you out a little bit. Don't scrutinize their work as much when you're in one of those down times. Maybe just do some fast liking or whatever it is you like to do, and then move on with your day. I also try to limit my social media in general. I just get on, do the thing I need to do, and then get out. And that seems to work for me. If I could cut out more social media, I would do that. But it seems to be something that we kind of have to do these days. So if you're going to do that, and knowing that, then use that trick. I think you'll see a big difference. These are all good things, and just keep in mind that jealousy, it just blocks your own success. I see so many people and so many artists, and I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I've seen so many artists who have done some kind of petty behavior. Maybe they didn't have some of these tools at the time, and I'm sure I've exhibited petty behavior myself that I'm not proud of. But I think whenever you're doing that kind of stuff, you're not succeeding. For example, you go on somewhere and you're liking people's stuff just to get them to like yours, and then you go back in and you take the likes off, or whatever the equivalent of that is on any other platform or art marketplace. I've seen it all, and that just never works out in the long run, because first of all, people will get onto you, and they'll see through it eventually, and they'll expose you for what you're doing, which that's bad, obviously, A. And B, it's just not cultivating the right kind of mindset that you need to have success in your own career and your own day. So stop doing that shit and just come at it from a place of abundance and gratitude and Be happy for other artists' success. That's one thing that I try to do. I just try to be happy for other artists' success because really when it comes down to it, their success is your own success and it will be your success eventually. So it's kind of one of those a rising tide lifts all boats type thing. If you see other artists succeeding, then in the meantime, it shows you what is possible. And it's also just raising the playing field for everybody. All the artists out there are now having a higher percentage chance of doing the same thing. So let's be happy with it for other artists and cultivate that kind of mindset as a community. And I think that can only help us all. And, in my experience, it might sound funny, or it might sound a little woo-woo, but I just don't do well. When I'm having my worst sales periods or my worst creative periods, it's because I'm not feeling it. And maybe there is a little bit of that in the background, a little bit of jealousy or a little bit of envy of somebody else, what they're doing and what they've achieved. And that happens to all of us when we're not doing well, if we're down, if we're not eating well, or somebody's a little bit sick. It's easier and you're more susceptible to that kind of stuff. But I've always found that when I'm firing on all cylinders and I'm doing well and I have a positive mindset and I'm happy for my fellow artist, I'm also doing well and my sales are flowing. That's just a good thing to keep in mind. Don't be a jealous artist and cultivate the abundance mindset if you can. I hope you're able to use some of these tricks and tools. As always, you can reach out to me on social media or through my website. If you have any questions or comments, I will try to answer them. And if not, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.